Everyone, Limber Tim, say hi.
What's up?
That's Limber Tim's hi. Vinny, hello.
Hey.
Hi. I am Stafford. Some call me Jameson. But I don't have as many nicknames as Limber Tim, because I'm not Limber Tim.
Alright.
Yep, so, okay, we're going to jump right into this discussion that Vinny wanted to talk about. Go.
So the first thing, I was watching YouTube stuff. This guy, Joseph Buckley, and he was talking about...
Who?
This thing it's a YouTube guy, his name's
hilarious.
Adam Buckley.
Okay.
But,
What the Buck?
No, it's Joseph Buckley.
Okay, Joseph Buckley, okay.
Anyways, and he was talking about this thing that The Onion tweeted during the Oscars. It was actually one of the writers for The Onion. And the tweet was that, quote, everyone else seems afraid to say it, but that Kuvenzini Wallace, however you say her name, is kind of a cunt, right?
Fucking poor 9-year-old girl.
She's a 9-year-old actress. I want to say she's nominated for an Oscar. I'd have to double check.
What, for what, though?
I don't know what to say here.
No, like, I didn't watch the Oscars because I don't care. But what 9-year-old does such a phenomenal job?
Annie.
Huh?
Annie.
Sorry, did you say Annie or Annie?
Annie.
Annie?
Yeah, Annie.
Okay. I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah, she was an Oscar nominee. 9 years old.
9-year-old Oscar nominee.
Yes.
For what movie? We're still looking that up. Huh?
Yeah, I'll get into that. Anyways, the point is, an hour after it was tweeted, they deleted it.
Why?
Because apparently they pissed somebody off.
Because they pissed out.
Whatever, dude. Apologize for nothing. Limber Tim
They
doesn't
cut-
apologize for anything ever.
They cut an apology, an official apology later. This is the first time in their 25-year history that The Onion ever apologized for anything.
Really?
This is the same publication that 2 weeks after 9/11 released headlines joking about the entire situation.
Oh my god.
Another headline
Special Olympics.
they put out was the Special Olympics T-ball stand pitches perfect game.
Okay.
The Onion makes fun of everybody without any bearing on race, color, creed, sex, gender. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And now, here we are, 2013, The Onion apologizes because they called this little 9-year-old girl a cunt. Obviously in a joking manner, because she's probably a very sweet girl. Has not been corrupted by Hollywood yet. Has no clue what it's like to be... She's just oblivious to everything. Just, having fun.
Honestly, I would wager that she really is a cunt. Because at 9 years old, I am to assume that she has spent at least the past 2 years being bred for this lifestyle now. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that, starting at 7, she started to get, like, a little bit cunty. And now she's 9, and she is a full-blown, wet, pubic, overgrown cunt. Just the worst kind.
Okay, Beasts of the Southern Wild.
I've never heard of that movie.
That's the movie.
Yeah, never heard of it. See, this, again,
Well, she's 9 years old and nominated for an Oscar. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence just won. She won for Best Actress. She's 22.
And she...
I don't know what the youngest off the top of my head is.
What was it for?
No, I don't think it was for the Hunger Games. It was probably for...
I know, it was for the Bradley Cooper one.
What is it, Starlight?
Starlight?
I don't know. I'll get to it in a second.
Silver Linings Playbook.
There you go.
And which I saw. Awesome movie, by the way. Great movie. And Jennifer Lawrence looks pretty hot in it, too. That's a win. But, yeah. That's all I have to say about that movie, really. It was just good to go see it.
I have to disagree. I don't think this little girl's a cunt.
Why?
She's 9 years old.
9-year-olds are the worst kind of cunt.
Wait till yours grows up to be 9.
I don't know. Because that really correlates, I think, to the parenting. But at the same time...
Yeah, but kids are always going to be kids, though.
No, kids are shitty. Kids are the worst people in the world. Children are more cruel than Osama bin Laden ever was. Children suck.
Are they more cruel than Ted Bundy or something?
I'm telling you right now, when I was in 4th grade, I had this friend. His name...
You know what? Yeah, go ahead.
When I was in 4th grade, I had this friend named Alex. Okay? Alex was, like... I was new. Like, this is when I had moved from Woodbridge to Stafford. And I started going to this elementary school, and my first friend, Alex, was the first friend that I made. in this new school. And I was in 4th grade. Like I said, I was in 4th grade. Alex was...
What grade were you in? I don't think we heard it enough.
I was in 5th grade, 4th grade. I was in 4th grade. And Alex and I, we clicked. We shared interests, like you do with friends, and get along.
What interests are you guys
Alex,
clicking with in 4th grade?
Micro machines. Mostly.
They're like 10 years old. I mean, what do 10-year-olds do?
Pogs.
Oh,
Pong?
man.
This
Pog.
isn't...
Pog.
Yeah,
No,
Pogs.
Were Pogs a thing yet?
Yeah.
Pogs were a thing for a while.
95, 96?
Dude, I still have my Pogs. I have like 2 big, the Pog tubes, the storage tubes.
Nice.
Yeah, but I had 2 of these, like, of Pogs.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's
I had, like, metal slammers and shit.
See, I didn't have metal. Well, no, I did have a metal slammer.
I didn't have Pogs because...
Why are we on Pogs? We're talking about
I used
kids
to
being...
fuck people's Pogs up. With my metal... I had a metal ball buzzsaw one. It was great.
I remember that one. That was a cool one. Anyway, Alex suddenly turned on me.
Bring them in next time.
Yeah, you should have a Pog tournament. We'll have a Pog tournament on the air next time. We'll play for keeps.
I just keep them down here with me.
We'll play for keeps.
Well, then fine. Go... next time you're back home,
Go.
I'll text you to remember to grab them.
Travel back to 1995 Michael's and go to the back and they'll have tubs of them.
Is that where they sold them? I don't know. I didn't have Pogs.
Yeah.
What the hell's a Michael's?
Michael's Craft Store.
I played with them, but I never had my own because, well, my parents were cheap. And
I tell you why I have my own, because
and it was kind of useless.
my mom was like, oh, a toy that you're into that only costs 5 cents a pop? Hell yeah. And, that was my thing. Not to mention, I got
10,000 Pogs later. Damn it.
Not to mention, I got a bunch of free ones from, like, McDonald's Happy Meals when they were on the Power Rangers kick. So I have a lot of Power Rangers Pogs and VR Troopers Pogs. Remember VR Troopers? I thought they were cooler than Power Rangers, but they only lasted for, like, 1 or 2 seasons.
What did you say?
VR Troopers?
Power Rangers are still around.
Yeah.
They're still making new stuff. Anyways, so there's this kid, Alex.
Yeah, this kid, Alex. Suddenly one day he just turns on me. And I have no idea, like, no reason, with no explanation. I come to school one day. Actually, it started because he didn't believe me that there was a such thing as a Super Soaker 50. Do you remember when this,
Yeah.
Do you remember when the
Super Soaker 10,
right.
Super Soaker 15,
There was
20,
a
25.
10, 20, 35, and 35 was the thing. And then suddenly, 50 happened. And it was a huge deal. He didn't believe me that
What are those
50
numbers
existed.
for? Is that how much they held? I don't even know.
No, it's
It's
like
just,
the
well, they got
model
big.
number.
Well, they got
Like a phaser 6360.
Well, yeah, there you go, like a Xerox printer. But
Yeah, there you go.
they got bigger actually because with every number.
No, it was bigger. Obviously, the
know.
10 was like this little itty bitty tiny thing
Yeah, it was
that
a
held
little
like
pistol, yeah.
3 squirts of water,
Yeah.
and the 50 was like this thing that
I think I
had this giant reservoir on it.
30s, I think.
The 50.
When I played, because we used to fucking.
Well, you have Super Soaker Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I had 230s. I think were my arsenal.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like the 2 Super Soaker SMGs that you could just
Yeah.
dual wield.
Because they were like not big, like rifle status.
How do you pump 2 pistols at once?
You pump them, and then that way you can just draw them.
Yeah, you just have them pumped already, and then you just draw.
And
them.
then- and
It's
then-
like,
I
it's like-
forget that
Didn't
it's
they do
yeah.
something higher than a 50, like eventually?
No, are you kidding? They're on like the Super Soaker.
No, I mean like back then though. Like,
No, yeah,
had,
there was like
a
a
60 and
75. There was a
70.
75
yeah.
and 100. Actually,
Because
I think
I got 100. That's what I got.
the 100 came out first, and then they went back and said, "Hey, we'll make a 75, like
But
an
you know what,
in-between
though?
model."
The 100 came out, and everybody was freaking out about the 100 because the 100 was the first one that you plug into the wall and charged, so you didn't have to pump it. So you just filled it up with funny children. Here's water and electricity, please. But you put the
Well, that's a good natural selection process.
yeah, right. You plug in the Super Soaker and charge it overnight, and then you plug the bottle in, and then just and you could just literally like the cyclic rate. You just shoot fucking water until it's out. But see, the thing, the 50 came out. This kid Alex didn't believe me, and like it was a death argument. I mean, it was like we got into a fucking heated argument about the 50, and I'm like, you're not gonna tell me the 50 doesn't exist because I fucking own one. And like this is back when faggot was like
You said I fucking own one as a 10-year-old.
I didn't actually start cursing until 6th grade because that's another story. But in 4th grade though, that was like a big argument back then. You know what I mean? That's like somebody telling me
Did you
that
end up calling him a faggot?
I might have. I don't know. I had a potty mouth, but it didn't really evolve until 6th grade when I found out that I could say it on the bus and not get in trouble because everybody did at the time. But that was like
It was back when you could say faggot and it didn't mean you were gay. It meant you're a faggot.
you're being a faggot. Exactly.
Like Louis C.K. said, you're just being a faggot.
Yeah.
Just whatever.
Yeah. And so this was like a blood feud that began over this Super Soaker. It's like if someone walked up to me now and said that the Monkees preceded the Beatles. That would be like, well, you're stupid, you're retarded. Obviously the Beatles came first, but they don't know that. So, and I thought he was stupid. I'm like, how?
Rolling Stones came first.
I was wow, okay. So,
we'll get into that later.
Yeah, so you don't know about the Super Soaker 50. Obviously, you don't have fucking television. Don't you watch cartoons on Saturday morning and watch the TV commercials? Because I know they have fucking commercials out. He would not admit that the 50 existed, so you know what I did? I went home that night, I took the Super Soaker 50 water tank off of my gun, and it says 50 on it. Put it in my
you couldn't bring the whole thing.
Yeah, because people would be like, oh my god, he brought a gun to school. But
it squirts water, everybody duck, cover.
No, it's a simulated gun, it's a big deal. But I took the tank and I put it in my backpack. Took it to school, and then I'm like rushing to class in the morning. Like I'm pushing people to get off the bus so I can quickly get to my class and prove to this son of a bitch that the 50 exists, so I can win the argument. You know, it mattered that much to me. And like I rush to this fucking classroom. I walk in, I see him, and I walk up and I put the tank in front of his face. And you know what he does? He doesn't even look at it. The tank goes right here, and he goes, I'm not looking at that. And he pushes it away and refuses to look at it. And I'm like, look at this thing. It's the 50. Look at this number. He will not look at it. No matter how hard I try, he won't. Because he is that strong in his fucking will. Just, he refuses. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Oh my god. Like, that to me...
You can't admit defeat.
I mean,
what are you doing?
Right. I mean, and plus, I can't have my victory. I cannot have my victory if he is not completely aware that he has been defeated. And so this fucking, I don't know, like, it started this thing, and, like, I kind of dropped it, you know, because I'm a kid, and I move on from things like they do. And, like, by recess, I had moved on. I was like, hey, man, you want to make paper airplanes and put our micro machines in them and have a, like, that's what we did. And he's like, okay, so we played with our micro machines that could be misinterpreted at recess, and then the next day,
not a euphemism for penises.
I totally thought that that this thing was behind us. And then the very next day, I come into school, and I'm like, hey, Alex. And he goes, don't talk to me. Well, what happened? I don't understand what happened. Alex eventually, and then he went over and sat with, like, these other kids that we talked shit about these kids all the time. We didn't like these kids. But then he went and sat with them.
As fourth graders, you talk shit. Oh, he picked his nose and ate it.
Oh, man. Dude, we hated these kids. But then he went and sat down at their table with them and started talking to them. And I'm like, why the fuck are you sitting? Hey, why are you over here sitting with fucking Ronnie? You know, and he's like, because Ronnie's my friend. What do you want? You know? And now he's like, fuck you. Like, get away from me. He doesn't even want anything to do with me. It's like fuck it. He's progressed. So, finally, I drop it. Okay, fine. I think maybe he's having a funk. The next day, still, doesn't want anything to do, won't talk to me. As a fourth grader, and this is my point about fourth graders being cunts. It's not him turning on me that makes him a cunt. The cuntiness comes from the fact that after he turned on me, I legitimately had fantasies about stabbing him in the heart with a butcher's knife during recess in front of everyone.
That, you have a problem.
So Alex wasn't the cunt.
Well, no, because...
You were the cunt.
Well, he was a cunt, and his cuntiness, gave birth to my cuntiness. And literally, I had fucking images of kicking Ronnie in the stomach and then stabbing Alex in the chest with a butcher's knife. And I mean, like slowly killing Alex. Like, I wanted him dead.
You know what I think of this scenario is...
As a fourth grader, if you handed me a knife and told me that I would get away, and said, you'll get away with it. You won't get in trouble. You're not going to have to sit in the corner, you know, and fucking think about what you've done.
So the only thing that stops you from actually murdering somebody else is the fact that you would get in trouble.
Yes.
You didn't have the knife at recess.
No, okay, even if I had the knife, like I said, the fear of any repercussion, like my mom would find out and I'd get in trouble.
Isn't that why we don't do things to begin with? Is the fear of being fined or going to jail?
I thought it was just the general goodness of people.
No, I think more people in this world...
People are selfish.
I think more people in this world, I will go as far as saying, I think the vast majority of people in this world would kill somebody else if it would further their cause or somehow benefit them, as long as they knew that they could get away with it completely and nothing would ever happen.
That's what Christopher Nolan was getting across in the second Batman he did with the Joker. Those people were ready to kill everybody.
Yeah.
They were ready to blow everyone else up on that other boat, not knowing that maybe it would just blow everybody up.
Right.
Or only them. You know, they had no way to know.
Right.
They were ready to do it.
So everybody
but then he
is a sociopath.
No.
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 A sociopath is different. A sociopath is someone
Who doesn't
Who
care.
lacks empathy.
Right. Who
Exactly.
just doesn't care.
So they have those thoughts, and then it doesn't matter if they get in trouble or not because they don't see it as getting in trouble.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. So in their mind, they're not getting in trouble. So in our mind, even though we are getting in trouble, but we still want to do those things.
Well,
so
Every normal person, regardless of what they want to tell you, even the most fundamental roller.
Oh God, we're doing this again.
No, we're not going to get into the religious aspect of it, but even him, this very quiet, seemingly humble, just
please, I want to hear this.
Nice, person.
Can I just say this? Because he already listened to one episode, he will probably listen to future editions. If you're listening to this, buddy, take nothing we say, and this is the only time. Limber Tim's show does not apologize for shit, but we do know this guy personally, so hey, if you're listening to this and you take offense, we're sorry. We don't mean to offend you.
Limber Tim doesn't apologize, though.
Well, Limber Tim's an asshole. Please, go on. You don't have
So,
to. There's no need.
the nicest guy just seems like wouldn't do anybody harm,
Yeah.
right? I'm just using him as an example. It doesn't even have to be him.
But remember, we set a standard for everything that we do.
The whitest guy out there. No. So, the nicest person, the sweetest old woman you've ever met has had a homicidal thought before.
Of course.
Everybody does. And if you don't, I don't think you're normal.
Right.
I just, if you've never thought, I wish that person didn't exist, that's a homicidal thought.
It is.
And you're not saying, I'm going to plan out their murder and figure out a way not to get caught because I've seen every episode of CSI and it's, spin-offs. No. You just I want that person to not exist anymore. You want them dead. That's a homicidal thought when you get down into the basics.
Yeah. When I was 12 years old, I attacked somebody with a sword.
A sword?
Yes.
You're taking this back to the 12th century, are you?
An actual sword?
Yes.
What,
At the time, I did not know it was a double blade. Because they were practice swords.
Okay, so I thought that sentence was going to go somewhere else. I thought you were going to say, I didn't know it was a sharp blade. I didn't know it was actually... No, you wanted to hurt them, and then you were disappointed when it turned out to be a dull blade.
Yes, they made my sister cry when I loved my sister. So I wanted to make him cry.
You were protecting your sister?
Yeah.
The one that walked in on you masturbating?
Yes.
All right.
It was probably before that, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
You said you were 12, right?
12.
Yeah, there you
12,
go.
13.
Yeah. I would still kill someone. To this day, there's plenty of times that I've had thoughts.
That goes back to kids being cunts. Why the hell would I attack somebody for making somebody cry with a sword? Because I was a cunty kid.
Well, I don't know. You were doing it for the right reasons, though. You were standing up for your
You
sister.
were literally being a knight.
You were.
That's awesome.
That's exactly.
I didn't even think about that.
All the way down to the sword, you were being a knight. Admit you would kill someone if you could get away with it. Just admit it. Because I know I'm
I
not
never
wrong.
denied it.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, you guys are denying that.
No.
Just because that we have something in our brain that says, hey, we'll get in trouble, and you don't want that to happen. Sociopaths don't want it to happen either, because now they can't do what they want to do.
Okay, so I think you're misconstruing the difference between a sociopath and just a regular run-of-the-mill everyday murderer. There's a slightly, and that sounds weird, but there's a big difference.
Run-of-the-mill murderer.
Okay, so serial killers, people that kill constantly, and they do it for whatever their reasons are, and true sociopaths, they feel absolutely no guilt. They don't even see it as murder. A lot of times, they've justified it in a weird way in their own head that makes sense only to him.
Needed to offer the bloodbath to stop the earthquake that would end the world. Don't remember his name.
Huh?
And his neighbor's dog was possessed by a demon that told him to fucking kill people.
All sorts of people. The guy that tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan because he wanted Jodie Foster to love him. Right?
Yeah.
Same concept.
There was a homosexual dude that killed Versace because he was a gay idol. And he went on with more murders, but that was his known, big known one. I don't remember his name. Then there was another guy who literally just walked around, and if the house was unlocked, he was invited in. That's how his mind worked. And if it was locked, it meant that they didn't want to see him. Yeah. Well, he'd go in and just kill people, and then leave.
See, these are true sociopaths, as opposed to everyday run-of-the-mill murderers who murder for like a crime of passion. In the heat of the moment, you walk in and your wife is banging a dude, and you
shoot them both in the face 6 times.
Or maybe not shoot them, but you attack this dude and you just end up killing him because you're pissed off.
Right.
Right?
So
you still love your wife, so you might, maybe you just hit her or push her against a wall, but you beat this guy to death, right? Okay, then there's other other planned murders, like you're like, I'm really gonna get this guy back, and you plan
Shoot
it out
him
to the
6
point.
times.
Right, sure.
Jesus. What is it with you and shooting people 6 times?
Because that's make sure they're dead.
I think one.
You know, double tapping. I'm double tapping 3 times.
Okay.
I'm triple tapping the double tap.
Sextuple tap? I don't know. So
Yeah, that's like double.
people that they plan out the murders and they think they're going to get away with it because they've seen every episode of CSI
Yeah.
or every other NYPD.
Because there's no semen on this. He didn't
Exactly.
leave semen behind, so.
Yeah, you didn't bleed everywhere, jerk off, and throw clumps of hair everywhere. So they're not going to find out.
There's the killer's blood is all over the hallway. Ew. Someone mop it up.
Now back to my hunch.
Back to my hunch.
So these people, they think they're going to get away with it, but they still live in the back of their head. They still feel this like someone's going to find out. So they get to stress about it and this anxiety about it because they've done it. You know, so that's 2 ends of the murder spectrum, and I don't remember what degree is what, like first, second, third, whatever degree. And then there's manslaughter.
First degree is planned, second degree is heat of the passion, third degree is like an accident.
Yeah, it's manslaughter, right? It's like
Okay.
No, manslaughter is something else.
I think they kind of go hand in hand, but either way,
Yeah.
manslaughter's like, all right, you're in a car accident and the other
Right.
person dies,
Yeah.
but
you were
the
drunk.
accident's your fault and
Right.
you're drunk or whatever. It doesn't matter. So that's a
High on
difference
PCP or something.
between regular murders and sociopath murders. Sociopath murders because
Smoking some opium.
God told him to do it. Jodie Foster wanted him to do it.
Jodie Foster.
I'm just saying.
The dog possessed by the devil or the demon or whatever. That's
Exactly.
the
So those are sociopaths.
one. Or there was another guy that he hated prostitutes, so he would go around in his truck and pick them up, rape them, and then strangle them in his truck and then dump them in a river. He did that like 28 times before he was finally caught,
Yeah, people like that.
just because he didn't like prostitutes.
You find a direct correlation between sociopath and serial killer.
And,
Not to say that
and he
not to
was
say that
deeply
every
religious.
serial killer is a sociopath.
And he was deeply religious.
But more often than not.
His inner battle was between the fact that he wanted to please God, but he couldn't because of his insatiable lust and hatred for.
He wanted to make God happy by
Prostitutes.
getting rid of them, but at the same time he
lusted at them.
and was killing them. So it's like, So it's like the Crusades. They're all knights, right? So going back to the knight thing is what I wanted to go with this originally. People think chivalry is being nice and just well-mannered and all this stuff. Not really. Knights back in the day were very cruel individuals.
Oh yeah.
Awful people.
Yeah.
And they protected the quote-unquote ladies because, I mean, they're knights. What else do they want to do?
Well, they're not.
They want to get them into bed.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're exactly.
I want this fine maiden. So what am I going to do?
So chivalry really is just evolved. Chivalry evolved into douchebaggery. Is really, I mean, they were the douchebags of the 12th century. You know, like they lied to women to get them into bed. They pretended to be something that they're not, like males do today. You know, in order to bed these women, and then once they bed them, I'm sure they were cast out outside of the mud hut into the rain to fend for themselves.
So knights lived in mud huts?
Well, I mean, in
In
some
the 12th
places,
century,
maybe, I
most huts
guess.
were made of some form of mud and wood.
There weren't a lot of castles like you think there are.
Yeah.
I bet they still had, like, a place to live in the castle. If they're the
Really
king's
nice
house.
mud hut.
No, the castle was primarily home to the royalty and his close friends and family, whereas his armies, his knights, his all of his soldiers lived within close proximity of the castle walls, immediately outside the castle itself. So
Now, this isn't every place, obviously.
yeah, this is
But this is the majority because
a stereotypical medieval village.